In the name of the one holy and living God, amen. About a year ago, February 26, 2020, we gathered in church for Ash Wednesday. Last Ash Wednesday seems like a long time ago. I can barely remember it. About 2 weeks after Ash Wednesday, the mayor declared the stay-at-home order, and we began to move our services onto Zoom, which began a new chapter in our interim time and a new chapter in our history at All Saints. And in some ways, it feels like Lent 2020 hasn't ended because we've given up so much over the last year. It's hard to think of giving up anything for Lent 2021. Haven't we given up enough already? We have given up a lot over the last year as a parish, as a society, and each one of us has given up a lot personally. We've given up the simple pleasures of getting together with other people at home and out in public. We've given up our incarnational worship in this beautiful church. And we have given up the innocence of going about our days without thinking about getting sick. Many people have had to give up their livelihoods, their homes. Children have had to give up going to school. I know that I've given up some of my innocence about our democracy. And I have given up my white person's blinders that kept me from seeing the truth about racism in our country. Many of our assumptions about the world have been burnt down to the ground, burnt down to ashes. On Ash Wednesday 2021, we come to church carrying our own ashes of things we have given up and left behind. Assumptions, habits of being, people we have lost. We have already been marked by the ashes of the difficult days of the last year. We have given up a lot, and I think this will be a very different Lent because of it. We have already done some of the cleansing work usually set aside for Lent. In a way, we were forced to hit the reset button on many things. And it's made us dig deep into our creativity and build community online. We've tilled the soil of our souls, and I know that will continue through Lent and beyond. Tonight, I believe the ashes we receive mark us for hope and renewal. When we hear the words, "Remember you are dust, and to dust you shall return," we need to remember what God can do with dust. In the creation story, God creates human beings from the dust of the earth. When Jesus takes dirt and his own spit and rubs it on a man's eyes, he uses it to heal the man's blindness. God uses dust and the soil of the earth as the elements of creation, and the actual dust of our bodies is made of the same dust of the stars and the heavens. If we are dust and to dust we will return, then God can do much with us, heal us, open our hearts, and use us as instruments of God's purpose. As our Isaiah reading says, "You shall be like a watered garden, like a spring of water whose waters never fail. You shall be called the repairer of the breach. When we offer ourselves to God, God's love can work through us. The religious artist Jan Richardson writes this about Lent, quote, "We are entering the season that begins with a smudge. That smudge is a testimony to what survives. It is a witness to what abides when everything seems lost. It is a sign that what we know and love may for a time be reduced to dust, but does not disappear. We belong to the God who well knows what to do with dust, who sees the dust as a place to dream anew, who creates from it again and again." With the smudge of ashes we receive this evening on Ash Wednesday, 2021, remember that we are God's beloved, marked as Christ's own forever in baptism. It is love that remains, and it is God's love that draws us deeper into the love of God. I would like to end with a poem by Jan Richardson from her book, Circle of Grace. And it's called Blessing the Dust for Ash Wednesday. All those days you felt like dust, like dirt, as if all you had to do was turn your face towards the wind and be scattered to the four corners, or swept away by the smallest breath as insubstantial. Did you not know what the Holy One can do with dust? This is the day we freely say we are scorched. This is the hour we are marked by what has made it through the burning. This is the moment we ask for the blessing that lives within the ancient ashes, that makes its home inside the soil of this sacred earth. So let us be marked not for sorrow, and let us be marked not for shame. Let us be marked not for false humility, or for thinking we are less than we are, but for claiming what God can do within the dust, within the dirt, within the stuff of which the world is made, and the stars that blaze in our bones, and the galaxies that spiral inside the smudge we bear. Amen.